Hello everybody and welcome back to a randomized Let's Play of A Link to the Past. My name is Ryzzen&NemoGaming.
And I'm Rosemont.
And when last we left off, I had recently become deceased because of complete unfairness.
The floor killed him.
Why do they have razor-edged floor tiles?
Can you think of a better trap for a dungeon? I mean, it's working very well.
It's working too well, my friend.
And the floor tiles just kind of pick up, bury your body nice and gently, and then lay the floor back down.
I think I'm just having horrible reoccurring nightmares. That's the only way to explain why I'm able to just keep coming over and over again.
It's a sort of magic deja vu. And I almost hate to end the fun and tell you this, but you can destroy those things. Provided you slash them with your sword while they're coming in at you.
I can't even kill crabs.
So we've gone back to running around screaming?
I'm not screaming.
Not yet. Well, like and subscribe if you want to hear more Ryzzen screaming.
Ah! I had one heart to spare. I'm gonna have to do all this again once I die in the next room.
Probably. But you can do this. Not like that.
You sure?
I expected you to try to fight them, not run away.
I am a coward.
Oh, I forgot about this. I forgot about this completely. So, you see those unlit torches?
Yeah?
You have to light them.
How do I do that?
With either the lantern or the flamethrower rod. Neither of which you have. So all progress now is stymied.
Rose. Rose. Why did I let you talk me into this?
You're having fun and you know it.
A slow, terrible, agonizing, torturous death. Does not sound fun.
I'm pretty sure it sounds fun.
For who?
For me? For our audience?
Are those super crabs?
Those are called tektites. And you've been murdered by, I think they're called goyras?
I've got a third option now?
Yes. The old man's house.
Excellent. I couldn't think of anything I would want more.
No, but being killed by goras, which means that I believe they turn your body to stone and drag you off to their lairs. So there's that to look forward to. You to become an object d'art.
Place had all the bats in it.
It's a cave in the mountains. Of course it's going to be full of bats.
I don't have any Pokemon. I can't really do any battles with all these Zubats.
Oh, you're
I'm going backwards. Because I remember murdering them.
However, this does work to your advantage. Just keep going. The old man is eternally nice. Talk to him.
Ah. That's helpful.
Yes. He's the most helpful old man you're ever going to meet. The other ones just yell at you.
Alright, so I want to get up where I teleported to before to get that heart piece I saw before I jumped off the mountaintop.
It's called Spectacle Rock up there, by the way. Just a bit of lore trivia.
What's a spectacle?
It looks like a pair of spectacles. You know, glasses. Curiously, it only appears in the timeline where Link loses at the end of Ocarina of Time. So It appears in this one and in the original Zelda.
Well, unlike you, I don't have the need for glasses, thankfully.
Yes, I'm used to this.
I don't need to have 4 eyes, just the one. I still need to find... Oh, the hole's still up there.
It's very persistent.
Okay.
I guess to complete that dungeon, you're going to need to find something that starts fires. And to enter the dungeon in the south, you need to learn how to read. So, off to the right where you died before, there's... You cannot kill them while they are stoned. So off to the right where you died before, there are caves and such to check out. Maybe we'll get lucky. That's not even in Moonspeak.
No, it's not.
Nope. You have to learn how to read those with an item you get.
Alright, so about the caves off to the right?
Yeah, there's more caves off to the right off here, and you can explore them and look around and see if you can find a lantern. Or the ability to read.
I like randomly just running in from off screen and smacking into one of them.
Those boots are gonna be your best item. Just be really glad your uncle left those.
So, the little worm things that are killing me there, what are they?
Moldblums? Moldrons? I think it's Moldrons. And the Goras add another statue to their collection.
Old man, help me. Why are you living in a cave? Don't you know there are bats over here?
They're not in his part of the cave. And you've been outside. That should answer all the questions you have about why he doesn't go outside.
It raises more questions. Like why he's crazy enough to live out here to begin with.
This is not turning out well for you.
Just hug the wall. Hug the wall, Link.
No, we seem to be making no forward progress now.
Oh, we already knew that was going to happen. That's why you were trying to have other things to banter about and kept talking to me about Scions. Gonna have to... I mean, I can trace the blame for this game all the way back to when we first met, which was from me playing a Scion in a D&D game that you were running.
Ryzzen, are you suggesting this game is all part of some elaborate, long-planned revenge on my part? You and I both know I'm not that clever.
But you do feel the need to actually bring up revenge.
Yes.
Did
One of my favorite topics, really.
Do you think it was really that terrible?
You broke the campaign. Repeatedly.
I know of no such thing. I was only there for that one session. You kind of just made me angry and I left after that, so I have no clue what happened in the campaign.
To be honest, neither do I. It really wasn't important.
And you can't really blame me for what happened afterwards.
No, but when you came back, you proceeded to continue breaking the campaign. Mostly because you like to show off all those fancy magic items I wasn't letting anyone else have.
You didn't even have the Dungeon Master's Guide. You didn't know what magic items were.
I knew they existed. I just didn't know the rules for them.
Let me go! Please! No, you didn't have the Dungeon Master's Guide.
This time it was the Tektites that got you.
You didn't have a Dungeon Master's Guide. You didn't have a monster manual. You just kind of threw people in there.
And they all were having fun in blissful ignorance.
And when I went to make a character, I asked if I was supposed to make a character with a standard amount of gold for my level, and you said yes. And so I just went ahead and bought things that I could buy with my level worth of starting gold for a normal character.
Yeah, I didn't know that was a thing. I thought you meant the starting gold for level 1 characters, which is what the only thing I was giving anyone else.
We were like level 8-ish at the time.
And they were all flat broke. And I liked it that way.
Yeah, I was playing a rogue in that game, and because I had moved away from Scions for a while, partly to, you know, maybe give the DM a break. And after buying a good pair of daggers and some other stuff, I was like, I have a lot of money still. No, I'm going to buy a bunch of scrolls to use. And so I had a scroll for, like, every occasion. Which meant I had a scroll for every occasion. You didn't really know what to do with most of them.
No. I am still livid about your scroll of expeditious charge. The spell is called Retreat. You are not supposed to use it to chase down NPCs.
All it says is that it increased my movement speed. It doesn't say anything about what I do with my increased movement speed.
Ryzzen, we weren't using a grid then. Movement was relative. Speed was relative. People moved as far as I was willing to allow them.
And when I was able to suddenly double it...
Well, then I definitely didn't know what to do. That was also when I had to beg you not to murder the boss before the rest of the party got there. Same dungeon, in fact.
Just a different part.
Yeah.
I used the scroll when I was chasing down one of your characters that popped up to deliver some type of...
vague, mysterious foreshadowing hint, as I am wont to do.
And I wasn't going to let the thing get away. I think it was a thing. I don't think it was a normal person.
No, she was a normal person.
Okay. Anyway, one scroll of expeditious retreat, and I was able to retreat right to her as she tried to run away, and she found the business end of a dagger. That can hardly be called my fault.
And if memory serves, you ended that dungeon by stealing all of the treasure the party was supposed to find before they got to it. As if you needed any more money.
You already said that they were going to be flat broke. And I think you're mixing... Because that was a bit later than when I first came back, but... that was really a great little...
No, that was the same campaign because in the vault...
I forgot I could do that.
Yeah, you're going to want to remember that. No, that was the same campaign because the NPC you chased down was there to try to find an artifact that you beat them to, and the artifact was in the vault that you stole all the treasure out of first.
So, we get into this dungeon, and...
It's full of gnolls.
It's full of gnolls, which are Rosemar's favorite monster.
Absolutely. I love my hyena men.
To the point where I can sit there and in a completely different game make a ranger whose favorite enemy is gnolls, and not be disappointed in the slightest when they eventually show up, like, Game 2.
Game 2? What are you talking about? The first combat of that campaign was gnolls in the woods.
It's because I'm psychic. Even when I'm not playing a psychic. I knew you were going to have your hyena men.
I love my hyena. I will never apologize for that.
Anyway, we get inside. I'm stealthing around the dungeon away from the rest of the party. You've got the gnolls who have been apparently given an order to steal the treasury room, so they're building a wall specifically for the treasury room to keep the intruders out of.
With gnome slave labor.
With gnome slave labor. And I come in and just start talking to them.
Did you forget what you can do with those leaf clusters?
I can charge into them, can't I?
Yes, you can.
I didn't need that now.
No, but it would have come in handy before.
But gnome slaves were building a great wall to protect the treasure. And I came in and just started talking with them. And our group that we were with was super distrustful the entire time because they had such a history of stabbing each other in the back that they just they had their characters walk by, see that I was in the room talking with essentially the bad guys, and decide that they didn't want to mess with any of that. And so they left, not knowing whether or not my character was friend or foe at that moment.
And they never really got an answer. I will hold fast to the fact they never actually got an answer whose side you were on, other than your own.
That's probably the correct answer. But I believe I left for some reason. I came back and the gnolls had finished the wall. And so I asked them how they were planning on getting out, if there were any other entrances to the room. To which they paused because they had never considered actually being able to leave the vault themselves.
Gnolls aren't particularly smart. Double kill!
I shot him with an arrow. I did.
Those Goya's trophy room is getting bigger by the second.
I'm going to need this extra heart.
It's just countless statues of this same guy.
But I had to drill a hole in the wall using a drill that was in my bag because I actually did prepare and have a little hand crank to be able to drill one small hole.
Ryzzen is the only person I've ever known who brings a hand drill to a dungeon. That has never happened before.
I think that's the only time I've ever brought a hand drill into a dungeon. I just found it and decided to buy it. And I convinced the gnolls to break down the wall so that I could get into the vault where all the shiny goody stuff was.
An action they completed by using the gnomes as battering rams.
Those poor gnomes didn't deserve that.
Yes, they did. They're gnomes.
But in the end, the gnolls broke the...
Did you mean to do that?
No, I didn't. In the end, the gnolls broke the wall down. I got inside. I ended up getting into the vault. And I believe this is when you had your first encounter with a bag of holding.
Yes. I had theoretically known of their existence. But just seeing you pull one out of, well, wherever you kept your stuff was more than I could handle at that moment. You love running into that Tektite. He is functionally a spider, by the way.
Don't tell the me in the game that.
I wanted to bring it up when they killed you.
He only has 4 legs.
It's still the closest thing to a spider I've ever seen.
You mean besides normal spiders?
We're in dispute on that one. They might be spiders, they might be bats.
He disappeared.
So when you were here before... Yeah, they don't stay stoned for long. When you were here before and you were pounding those pegs, did you hear the sound effects they made?
No.
Well, there was a tone when you drove the right one down, and there was another tone when you drove the wrong one down. There's a certain sequence you have to do. Now that one was wrong before. I mean that noise it makes.
So this one being pounded first was wrong?
Was right.
Was right. Okay. And then I did this one, which was wrong.
Yeah.
So I need to go up, right, up, left.
Yep. So you can leave this screen to reset that, solve that puzzle real quick. And that'll probably be about the time we'll need to end the episode.
Well, in the end, I took the nice bag of holding. I ended up taking all of the loot from the entire vault and throwing it into the bag. I then closed the door and I cast lock on the door and waited for the rest of the group to come by, and then they saw that the room was empty. They came in, and I started pounding on the door, screaming for help, had them unlock the door to let me out, and give them a nice convincing lie about how I had snuck my way in here to the treasure room, but there was no treasure, and it was all just a death trap, and thank them so much for letting me out. They didn't know what bags of holding were either.
No. Those are simpler days.
Alright, Geronimo!
Bunny time!
This looks creepy.
This is Turtle Rock.
Okay. Well, we are going to end it here in Bunny Town on Turtle Rock. We hope you enjoyed story hour, half hour, 20-ish minutes. Anyway, thank you all for watching, and I hope you've been enjoying.
We'll see you next time.